Good morning, everybody. It's Marty, the JavaScript party. My buddy Rhett here, trying to knock out a little bit of code, trying to figure out what this get to edit dimensions. So these are the dimensions that you get to view while you're in edit mode, which I have a bit of a violation here where like I sort of bounce back and forth between the word update and edit. And I was like, oh, edit's starting to win, but actually update has the win in the bag because that's the name of the component. I don't see myself changing the whole name of the component. So maybe this should be get update dimensions. I don't know. For now, I guess I'll just sort of carry both, even though that is a significant increase in cognitive load. All right, so what we do when we go get these dimensions that are for edit mode, we do get our presentation mode from a signal, and then we get the, based on the div that was passed in, we get the offset with their height. Now, that is interesting because this is sort of like inferring the width and the height based on the viewport. So in this situation, if we create our new visualization and then we do this and then we go update, we're saying, hey, based on the width and the height of this visualization, we infer what the proper width and height is. Just trying to play around a little bit with the idea of keeping my um, sort of my browser up a little bit and then my editor down a little bit so that I can easily pop back and forth. But so so in this case, we really don't have any choice but to infer what the proper width and height should be because there's no way to predict the size of the browser. But here, in general, I do not like that. In general, I like to know what the width and height is. But here, we want to determine what the width and height is that was configured. So when we go here, there is a configured width and height, which I have not. I don't have any good way of showing it other than to go to my data view, which is nice because we spent like months and months and months building out that data view to have it. But so the who knows it? Who knows the actual width and height? And I believe the thing that will know it will be something in the ST world, right? So it's not going to be in the components. I don't think the components will have any idea what the width and height is. And it won't be an interface, but it will probably be a service. It's probably going to be either an entities or UI service. I don't know what's in. So we have a general viewport resize service. So definitely not that. So let's go to entities. And now in entities, we have like three kind of things. We have our ST, we have our three, and visualization. So now I'm guessing that it's in visualization. So visualization. So this knows the width and height. Get ST visualizations. So here it actually knows what the width and height is, but we don't know if it's the, oh no, so this still uses the element. So this one infers its width and height based on its size. Um, so this is definitely not something that knows, and maybe we should revisit that, but I think that it's okay here too. I don't know. I don't like it, but I like that less. The other one I liked, like inferring the width and height based on the width and the height of the element makes a lot of sense on that one because that is trying to use maximum. It's the whole point of it is to use all the space available. This one I don't like as much, but I can still live with it. But it looks like it's, well, probably an ST. I believe, yeah, we also, maybe not. We have our renderer, our scene. Hmm. Is it in our renderer? So a renderer. You know what? I'm starting to think maybe the best place to look for this would be in the interfaces. So let's go over to interfaces and see if we could. Basically, what I'm trying to figure out is where in the system does it know the width and the height that I'm trying to set it to. Right now you can't set it because we don't actually we're trying to get to where you can set it, so we default. But somebody knows something. So it could be in the scene. So the scene has a scene ID and that, so it does not know the width and the height. Renderer. What does the renderer have? Ooh, there we go. That's who has it. Okay, so it is the ST renderer, is the one that actually knows what the height and the width is configured to be. So now, since we know it's the renderer, I know I have I believe if I remember correctly, and there's no guarantee that I'm remembering correctly, but I believe every ST has an ST um, equivalent. All right, so this is our ST renderer service, and the ST renderer service creates and sets up. So this is the one who sets the height and the width. And most of these I thought had okay, so it's 3 animation class. Yeah, ST renderers dictionary. So my guess is that I can get the actual ST renderer itself. There's probably like a get renderer by ID. So this is what I want. So I need to get the renderer, but I don't even know what the ID is. So I'm not sure exactly how to figure out what the current edit ID is. There's a couple ways because it's in the router, right? This is the ID. I don't know if this is the renderer ID or not. I wish I had put next to editor. Let's see, does this thing have a name? Maybe it has a name. I believe that's going to be the renderer ID up there. Actually, you know what the easiest way to do? Ha! Let's see, data, entities, add biz. Okay, do we have a render? Yeah, ST render. Okay, so that was in fact the renderer ID. So this is what we're trying to get is this thing right here because it knows what the width and the height was configured to be. All right. So that's good. So we could we at the very least know we can get it from here. So that is in fact the renderer ID. Okay, so, and it has a renderer's dictionary. So let's go back go back to where we were, back into update world. This is where it's real easy to get very, very confused and get sort of lost in. Visualization service. Hmm. Okay, we only have a couple of changes, so maybe I can use this to figure out where I was at. I guess it was in update settings, huh? That was a TypeScript, so it must be this guy here. Okay, so what is Control Z? Render ID string. Okay, so we do have get numeric renderer ID. Hmm. So the update layout knows what the renderer ID is. I'm completely lost at the moment. This is what I try to avoid at all costs. Is this cognitive sort of just overload. So we know that interface services, I feel like it has to be in here, right? Yeah, here it is. There we go. Whoo, I'm back. Back, baby. So we're saying if it's configured, we need to get it from the renderer ID. We need to get it from the renderer service. So am I bringing in the renderer service? So I don't think there's, well, this definitely should never be brought into the renderer service. This app update layout service should never ever get brought into that one. So we don't have to worry about the cyclic error. Oh, and we have the edit renderer ID right here. So we actually already have the renderer ID. We don't have to worry about that renderer ID. But I need to inject instance of the renderer service, the ST renderer service. So, and I'm assuming I'm already using inject, right? Do we have inject? Yeah, we're already using inject. So, I don't know. It should probably try to find. Usually I like to group up my services. So these are my signals. I guess up here is where I have a service from the router. All right, so private. I guess we should make it private. No, I don't think we should make it private. I think private would make it to where I can't get to it from the template, but I'm not 100% sure on that. So this is called ST renderer. Let's see if we can get this service. And then ST renderer service. And then this is equal to equals inject. And then ST renderer service. And then over here, he can get this renderer service can get the width and the height. And we really only want to do it if we're in this mode. But we need to know what the idea is. And typically I would want to pass that into this from whoever calls this guy, because whoever calls it probably needs to also know the ID at some point. But publish dimensions, maybe not, maybe not. All right, so we want to get the only reason I want to do this is because I want to set this thing is because just for cognitive load, so it'd be easy to kind of come up to speed in the future. But render ID st render ID is equal to this dot. Can I see it up there? Edit, yeah, edit render ID. All right, so we're just set it up there just so that I know what this is. And it probably would have been render stid would have been better, but for now, at least we kind of get there. And now I want the renderer, which is of type st renderer, and that is going to be equal to this dot st render service, and it needs the st renderer ID. But I'm guessing that it's, oh, okay, dot get renderer by ID. And now I'm guessing that this wants like a number, but this is probably like, oh, apparently this is in fact an actual signal. So there we go. So that was a signal, not a actual value. So in order to get the value, I have to execute the signal. And so now I have the actual value. Now I have the renderer. Now I did not want to do any of this out here. I want to do it down there. And it's just like like a habit thing, right? Like you want to have habits that um, sort of help you in the, give you a leg up in the as you're moving through life. And one of the habits that I've picked up is to always do it at the absolute lowest, like the lowest set of brackets, where if I don't need I try to really do my scope at the lowest bracket. So since I don't need this outside of here, I don't want to set it up. So anyways, ST render I believe has like a an ID, a width, and then ST renderer has an ST height. And then that's that. And now we have our edit dimensions, our width and height. And I don't know what that does. I don't know if that actually, I don't think it actually does anything because I don't think I'm passing it in yet. But, and it didn't, oh, it's still built. Okay. So let's go here. Let's add one, edit, then go here, and then hit update, and then go here. Oh, holy crap. Oh my gosh. Sometimes things just work. That's crazy. So this is how it would look. Now, I don't think I'm 99. I'll be shocked if the second one works properly. So what we want, see how this shows up there? What we want is to go here, hit update, and when we minimize, yeah, see it's still in that corner, but we actually want it to be right there. So that is next. But we did get that working, which I don't know why it works. I really don't. And because that's what happens because as you get deeper and deeper and deeper, you start fixing things up and you don't necessarily remember everything that you did at the higher levels because, like every level takes your focus. It takes all your focus to figure out your level and trying to remember everything that happened is additional cognitive load that probably prevents you from focusing. That's just my guess. But so a lot of times when you do it that way, then you get something working at the very lowest level, and then you try it, it all just works. And it's just like, oh, okay, cool. Everything, when I went back down, I knew enough to make everything work properly. So anyway, so tomorrow, which is going to be Saturday, which is probably going to be my favorite day of the week, I will try to get the second one to show up in the right place. And that is outside of the visualization. So the visualization is what handles the size of this thing. Um, but there's something above, or the render, I guess, is what handles the size of this thing. Um, or maybe the animation. I don't know. I honestly don't know how this thing is getting updated. I think it might be the animation that's actually handling resizing this thing. But the animation doesn't handle placing these things. So at least not yet. At least happy coding, everybody. Have a wonderful day. Bye.